So the first thing I have to disclose is that I've been doing so much research for the program I'm building, which is called High-Performance Entrepreneur. I literally grew a third eye because the 2 eyes I had were not enough to consume this knowledge from YouTube videos, podcasts, scientific researches, and everything to create this best productivity program out there. And 2 eyes were not enough, so I literally got a third one right here. So my friends, for the last 6 months, I have worked with more than 20 entrepreneurs to maximize their productivity so that they can skyrocket their business. Here is the most common 5 productivity mistakes that young entrepreneurs are making that are keeping them stuck in their business, as well as keeping them from working hard and working smart. Now, you might be asking me, Amit, what are your credentials to talk about this topic? Because that is a very realistic and true question to ask in the beginning. Now, in the last 6 months, I have worked with more than 20 entrepreneurs on their productivity.
And he's helped me a lot with being accountable with those actions. And that's actually been really, really helpful and helped me actually sign a couple more clients with the agency. And I'm talking high ticket clients here. I'm talking, clients with, a price tag of, over 2K euros because I'm charging euros. And so that's actually been really, really helpful with me.
All over the world, right? UK, US, Australia, Germany, Brazil, all of these countries. And I have access to their data that we have collected together for the last 6 months. That includes their habits, the things that we did on productivity that worked, as well as the things on productivity that we did that did not work, the rating that they give themselves out of 10 every single day. I have all this data. So in this video, I'm going to be speaking from literally data I have and not some random bullshit. So you know that even though I have an aesthetically pleasing background, the information in this video is going to be much more valuable and much more pleasing than the background I have. Mistake number 1. You are not doing enough hyper-focused work, or worst case scenario, you don't even know how to enter hyper-focused work in the first place. Have you ever found yourself rambling in a task that was normally supposed to take 90 minutes out of your day, but you've been rambling in that task for like 4 hours and you still haven't gotten some solid progress done? So you get stressed, you get angry, you get anxious maybe even, because of the fact that it's been pretty much like 2 p.m. and you still haven't gotten any solid progress done in that day. That's because you are not doing hyper-focused work. So check out this equation. So this is the quality that you bring to the session, the focus that you have inside of it. And then this is the quantity of hours you have worked on that specific task. Let's say, imagine this out of 10, your focus was a 4 out of 10. And then you spent 4 hours on that task, which brings us to a 16 total for progress. And that simply means if you can double your focus, let's say it's going to be an 8, from now on to achieve the same amount of results, what happens is you only need to bring in 2 hours of effort. Now you get the idea behind this, but the thing is we are not going to be able to say exactly what the rating of your focus is in a work session realistically. And the reason being is the focus you have is not like a stable thing. It's not like you focused 4 out of 10 throughout the session. Your focus changes not every single minute, not every single second, every single moment. But the main idea stays the same. If you do hyper-focused work, you will be able to get more done in a shorter period of time, this is a skill that can literally make you work less and even achieve more than your peers. So then the question rises, how do you do deep work? How do you do hyper-focused work? So I'm going to give you 3 scientifically proven flow triggers. Number 1, have a clear goal. And having a clear goal means that whenever you are entering a session, you know exactly as a goal, as an actionable outcome, that what you want to get out of the session. Number 2, the best case scenario is that you have immediate feedback after the session. And number 3, you have a great balance of essentially skill and challenge. That means that the task you are doing is not too easy that it makes you bored because you are thinking about some other stuff whilst you are doing the task. And it's not as difficult as it makes you feel like you literally cannot solve the problem. Now, imagine like a tennis game. You're playing against a 5-year-old girl, and what happens is even though you might have never held a tennis racket, you will still win against that girl. Why? Because she's 5 years old, she has no idea how to play. That's why when you're playing against her, you will not going to be in flow state, simply because the game you have is very, very easy, and you will be thinking of other stuff because it's easy to win. But then imagine a scenario where you are playing against Rafael Nadal or Serena Williams. What's going to happen is they're going to beat your ass. That's why you're still not going to be in flow state. Why? Because the game is too difficult, you're losing. The best case scenario to enter flow state is you have an opponent and the skill level kind of like matches, and the only way for you to win is if you give your 100% into the game. Now, the main suggestion I have when it comes to hyperfocus and deep work to people who I work with, as well as literally to you right now, is that you set yourself a time every single day, consistently the same time, and you do deep work at that time. Now, you might be, by the way, preferably morning, and the reason why I'm saying preferably morning is because when you are sleeping, you have these waves in your brain that are called delta waves, and these delta waves are essentially the sleep waves that you have. And when you're focusing, you have the alpha waves, and the waves of delta and alpha are actually pretty similar. So if you literally wake up and then in 90 seconds you hop onto a deep work session, your brain is going to be able to transition into flow state very quickly, because the waves when you are focusing and the waves when you are sleeping are actually very similar. And the last suggestion I have when it comes to being able to enter an actual flow state, so being able to be hyper focused, is that create yourself a deep work trigger. And the deep work trigger basically means this. Imagine a perfume that you only use when you're hopping to a deep work session. Imagine a watch that you only wear when you're hopping to a deep work session. Imagine a bracelet that you wear. Imagine something that you do, a ritual that you have, that you only and only do before you hop into a deep work session. What's going to happen is your brain is going to remember that ritual with being able to focus. And the moment you do the ritual, your brain is going to get into this mood of, oh yeah, I gotta focus now. And the mistake number 2, this is a big one, not focusing on what actually moves the needle in the business and being weirdly patient on solving the problems, solving the constraints of the business. I have a client named Florence. When Florence started working with me, he was sending out 2,000 emails per week as cold emails. But the thing is, we were not getting the results that we wanted. So I asked Florence, what do you think is the solution to this problem? And he literally gave me 2 answers. He said, maybe I have to enter a bigger market to find clients. And then he told me maybe I have to send out more emails. So he thought the way to solve this problem was essentially just doing more marketing. But the thing is, the constraint of the business, the problem in the business was the offer. We did not have an offer that people wanted to say yes to. So unless we solved that point, the marketing was going to be essentially a waste. Objectively, think about your business. What is the constraint in the business? The constraint in the business might be that your offer sucks, which is generally most of the case, or your marketing sucks, or you don't know how to do sales, or just throwing it out there, you are maybe not as high performance as you want to be, so the constraint of the business is essentially you. From what I can see, if you're not actually making $5,000 to $10,000 a month, the constraint in the business is actually not in the business. The constraint is you, because you are not as high performance as you think you are. The moment you realize the weak chain in your business, directly solve that problem. Like, most people don't actually objectively sit down and think about their business, or like think about their life in general, and actually determine and identify the problems there are and then try to solve them. Like, this is very self-improvement 101. Self-improvement is here for you to be able to improve. And if you're not actually objectively analyzing your life and analyzing your business and coming up with actual solutions you can do to improve it, like, what the hell are you doing? A lot of young entrepreneurs are wasting so much time on the things that simply do not matter. A new logo or watching another video that's like 3 habits of highly effective entrepreneurs is not going to solve anything for you. What you have to do is you have to sit down and determine 1, 2, 3 tasks that actually move the needle in your business. That might be sending 50 DMs per day. What you do is you sit down and send 50 DMs per day, no questions asked. No new logo, no more Imangadze videos, simply doing the boring ass hard work. And when it comes to Florence, we changed up the offer and he's doing much better now. Mistake number 3, you are not setting yourself goals, and the goals you are setting yourself are low stake. Now, my friend, I know that entrepreneurship might be a lonely journey, and to be honest with you, it is a very lonely journey for me, even though I'm talking to all these entrepreneurs in my business, as well as I have a coach who I've paid thousands of euros to. Sometimes it feels like you're writing some goals down and then trying to achieve those goals throughout the week. But then if you don't achieve them, nothing happens. Like, no one is there to call you out. No one is there to push you. Everyone is watching videos on like, yeah, you gotta set yourself goals. Let's go in the beginning of the year. No, you should be setting yourself goals every single week. And on Monday morning, you set these goals. Sunday afternoon, you sit down and review all of them. If there are goals you haven't achieved, you've been a little bitch that week. Worst case scenario, most entrepreneurs have this kind of like direction that they want to go to. They say, I want to get rich. I want to grow my business. That's not the right way to go. You decide, first of all, the main needle mover in your business. Let's say that is DMing 50 people because you have an online coaching business and you want to DM 50 people every single day about that. And that's the main needle mover, right? you set yourself the target of like 50 per day. That means 350 for the week. And then let's imagine that Sunday came and you only DM'd 250 people. So 100 remains. You should be shivering with fear, and you should be having a little maybe anxiety, and you should be feeling uncomfortable because you haven't achieved your goal that week and you still have 100 people to DM. That should be a big deal for you. But in most people's lives, unfortunately, they, number one, don't write their goals down. Number two, if they do consistently, they don't really care about that much if they achieve them or not. Like if you were in my business, if I was working with you one-on-one, like all of my clients, we sit down and write goals down every single week one-on-one. I'm working with you one-on-one, I'm sitting down and trying to determine your goals for the week, right? And when we write those things down, if we have the call next week and you come up with like, oh, I have achieved half of them I didn't. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. Like, there is no slacking off. There shouldn't be no slacking off because you should be holding yourself to a very high standard. Number one, write your goals down every single week. No matter what happens, have goals every single week. They might be really similar every single week. Hit 4 to 5 workouts in the gym, 2 boxing sessions, DM 350 people, have 10 sales calls, read 200 pages from the book. They might be very similar every single week, but try to achieve these goals every single week. Number 2, find a way, I don't care how, but find a way to make these goals high stake for you. If you don't achieve them, you should be losing something. There should be something happening, and so that you have this fire inside of you that's like, bro, I gotta achieve these goals. Mistake number 4, not identifying and then cutting off your productivity killers ASAP. Now, my friend, I know that this is not the first self-improvement video you ever watched. It's not the first business video, and it's probably not gonna be the last one. And you probably heard about the same self-improvement, same productivity strategies for maybe 50 times. And if someone wanted you to give like a lecture to 100 people on 3 productivity strategies, you probably would be able to. However, you are not utilizing those things in your life. You don't have a consistent work ethic. That's why your business is not skyrocketing, simply because you are not working hard enough for your goals and your life is not optimized for productivity. Now, this is an actionable step I want you to do, and I want you to write down every single thing that you do, every single habit that you have, every single ritual that you have, every single tendency that you have, that actually keeps you from being an actual high performer. You'll probably end up with a list like this. Number 1, when I wake up, I scroll through my phone for 1 hour. Number 2, when I sit down to work, I can't focus. Number 3, I don't have a consistent evening routine, so I don't go to bed at the same time every single day. Now you know how to solve all of these problems. You just haven't been doing it, or if you have been doing it, you haven't been doing it consistently. So let's solve them, every single one of them together, right? Problem number 1, when I wake up, I scroll through my phone for 1 hour. Number 1, give yourself a physical alarm clock. Number 2, charge your phone in another room than your bedroom. Number 3, when you wake up, have this habit of jumping out of bed instantly. And number 4, have a 30-minute, 1 hour screenless morning routine. Problem solved. Problem number 2, when I sit down to work, I cannot focus. Research about hyperfocus and flow state. Number 2, implement everything that you're learning into your life. 3, simply have a 2-3 hour per day consistent deep work routine. Problem solved. Problem number 3, I don't have a consistent evening routine. That means I go to bed sometimes very late, sometimes early, nothing consistent there. Alright, let's solve this together. Number 1, decide your ideal wake-up time. Number 2, go 8 hours before that, and that's going to be essentially your sleep time. And then go 30 minutes before that, and that's going to be your evening time, where you have an end of the day alarm so that you know exactly when to stop doing all of this, stop doing the work, stop the video games. Hopefully you're not playing video games. And then you get your evening routine and go to sleep for a productive day tomorrow. Problem solved. And this mistake that people are making, the 4th mistake, productivity killers, right? People will listen to this and 98% of people are not going to take action. So if you take action on this, you're already going to be winning, I promise you. Mistake number 5, not doing enough business learning. So my friend, the reason why you are not making $5,000 every single month is simply you don't know how to make $5,000 online every single month. As you're building your business, every single day consistently, you should be doing some sort of like business learning so that you can sharpen your skills. Because as you know, when you're building a business, there are a couple of skills that you always will need. Building an offer, being able to market, being able to sell, being able to build a product. And you should be number 1 learning these things from people that know this. For example, for offers, you go to Lex Hormozi. For marketing, you go to a marketer. For sales, you go to the person who can sell really well, right? And you learn these things theoretically and then implement them in your business so you have on the go like actual experience. Sometimes you are missing an important piece of the puzzle and you don't know how to figure that out. What do? You'll learn. So you might be asking me right now, then what do I do, Ahmed? Like, what do I watch? What do I consume? I'm gonna give you 2 suggestions. Number 1, read books. Read fucking books. 2 series I'm gonna recommend to you. Alexia Rose's $100 million offers and $100 million leads, and then Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets and Dotcom Secrets. So these both series incredibly important for any entrepreneur. And then number 2 suggestion is, instead of watching these type of videos, which is, let's say, I haven't decided the video that's here yet, which is, let's say, 3 habits of highly effective entrepreneurs, 3 habits of how to make 10K a month online. Watch a video like this. I have watched this video myself like a couple of times, even though it's like 1 hour and like 28 minutes, I don't remember exactly, long, because it's incredibly valuable when it comes to objection handling. It's incredibly valuable when it comes to sales. Why? It actually adds value to my life. Watching that YouTube video changed my business. Imagine how powerful that is. But watching the other 99 videos did nothing to me except wasting my time. My name is Ahmet Khan. I am incredibly passionate about habits. I'm incredibly passionate about building a lifestyle, building a daily routine that maximizes your productivity, that maximizes the output that you can put out as an entrepreneur. And if you are an entrepreneur that is looking to scale his or her business, and the main problem that you have in the business is actually not in the business, it's actually the fact that you are not as high performance as you want to be, you're not as like hardworking as you want to be, you still don't have that extreme work ethic, then there's a link in the description. You can book a call with me and I can talk to you about how I can solve that problem for you. And if you're good fits, we can work together. The thing is, don't book that call unless you actually have like a business that you're working on, because that's gonna be a waste of your time, waste of my time. But my friends, I love you all. I know that 2024 is gonna be a year where you guys are gonna put in the work, where I'm gonna put in the work so much. Like I'm gonna do 200 to 300 hours of solid work to create the program in the next couple of months. And exciting times are waiting. Like I was so researching that. Third eyes here, right? My friends, hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day and talk to you soon.